Hey, it's Emily Williams. I'm a desires coach and money mindset expert, and I love working with ambitious women to help them create a life that they actually love. So today I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to make big decisions in your life and how I move through my own 3-step process to get the clarity that I'm craving, even with the most challenging decisions. So we recently moved back to my hometown in Columbus, Ohio. I haven't lived here for 15 years. I moved to London, England when I was 23. We lived in LA, then we lived in Santa Barbara, and most recently, we bought and built a house in Austin, Texas. So when my daughter was born, my husband and I started thinking about where we actually wanted to live, what our forever home would be. My daughter has tons of cousins, my parents, all in Ohio. And so honestly, although I never in a million years thought I'd be moving back here, it was something that was on our radar and something we started to consider. The other thing that came up for us was that we didn't actually love living in Austin, Texas. It was way too hot. The area that we were in was about 30 minutes outside of the city. And so we weren't close to any of the things that we wanted to be close to, like Target and Whole Foods and even our friends. And so it didn't make sense to stay there. So we started exploring, okay, well, what's the next move? Now, I have to admit to you, I have this addiction to moving. I've moved 14 times in the last 14 years, but I didn't think I'd be moving out of Austin so quickly and into my hometown. And so today, that's the example I'm going to use for you when I talk about decision making and how to make even the most difficult decisions in your life and my process that I walk people through. So number one, what I like to do is ask my clients to get clear on what they don't want. So what are you currently tolerating? What's coming up for you in your life that's creating stress, anxiety, dis-ease? What's a problem that you face on a regular basis? What's feeling like it's stunting your growth or happiness? What are you dreading? What are you tolerating? So let me give you a few examples. When we were living in Austin, one of the things that we were tolerating, like I said, was the location. We did not like where we were living, although we loved our house. So we were tolerating the lack of convenience on a daily basis. The fact that the area was really up and coming, so there weren't many restaurants there. We couldn't order food. We had to drive 30 minutes to get anywhere to get stuff that we needed, and it just wasn't convenient, especially for a little one. The weather was also something we were tolerating, as I mentioned. It was way too hot, and to be restricted and not be able to go outside did not feel good to me, especially during 3 to 5 months of the year when, we want to be outside, we want to play, we want to do things with my child. So those are a few things that I was tolerating that did not feel good to me in my body, and I did not want those things for my life. So ask yourself those same questions. What are you currently tolerating? What do you not like about the current situation? And when we do that, sometimes it's easier for the mind to recognize those things we don't like in order to get clarity about what we do want. Number 2, then start to ask yourself, okay, what do I want? What would feel really good for me? And try and eradicate any sort of restrictions, any sort of fear and doubt. Ask yourself, if money was no object, if I had all the time in the world, if I didn't worry about what people thought, what would I actually want? And so for us, we started asking ourselves, okay, what do we actually want? Well, we want our daughter to grow up around family. We want to be able to go outside regularly and experience 4 seasons. We want to have the convenience, the life conveniences, not just, those moments every weekend when we're around conveniences. We want to have that every single day. So start making your list. And what's really powerful about this, especially when we're talking about everyday examples, is to look at the everyday examples, because sometimes our desire list is made up of taking the trip to Italy or the Range Rover or making $10 million in our business. But we need to remember about the little moments that make up those big experiences, because those are so impactful and those are going to impact the big experiences themselves, right? All right, number 3, then you want to play the whole tape through. So we weighed our options. We looked at staying in Austin versus moving to Columbus, Ohio, versus moving somewhere else completely different. Now, we didn't obviously have time to explore everywhere in the world, and there weren't many places on our list of places where we thought we could possibly live. And so we really just played the whole tape through on those 2 places, Austin and Columbus, Ohio. And we looked at what life would actually be like when we went to those locations, or maybe if we moved somewhere closer to downtown in Austin. So ask yourself the same question. If I play the whole tape through, what would my life look like? And sometimes you don't know exactly what it would look like. You don't know because you haven't experienced it, but maybe then you take it one step further and you go and experience it. Maybe you spend a month in the location that you're considering. Maybe you ask people for information, people who have already done the thing that you want to do. Maybe you interview someone, maybe you shadow someone, maybe you you read a biography from someone who has done the thing that you are wanting to do. There are a million different ways for you to get that clarity and start to play the whole tape through. So that's exactly what we did. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus tip here. When you do that, certain things may come up for you. You may realize, you know what, I'm not 100% confident. I don't know if this is what I want. And the truth is, like I said, you might have to take some specific action to get that clarity. And so in those moments, it's okay to take a leap of faith. I remember when I first moved to London over 15 years ago, I had a conversation with my grandpa, and he was telling me that I may never know 100% before I get there if it's the right next step for me, but I just have to trust my heart and try. And that's why I love desire work, because as you do this more and more, you start to trust yourself more and more. It makes it so much easier to take the action in the direction of your dreams and your vision, even if you're only 90% certain that it's the right next step. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you know that if you are feeling called to do something different, I totally resonate with that, and I know how it feels to move from place to place to place, literally or figuratively. I know what it feels to be a heart-centered person who is connected with what she wants, but that also means that sometimes she has to change things up. I know that that can be scary, but the truth is, when you follow those gut instincts, when you follow your heart, that's where the beauty of life actually is. So I hope you can start to trust that and know that even if it comes with a major identity shift like it did for me, moving back to my hometown 15 years later, you are strong enough to move through that. You are capable, and you will get to the other side. And if you're looking for even more support to get the clarity that you are craving, check out my free guide. Use the link that you see here to opt in and grab it today. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.